in the selection process of their top leadership through the Communist Party, the schools of the Communist Party and so on, which may be a selection process of the political leaders not inferior to a system of primaries like in the US, by the way. So they are better equipped to think about the long term. But then if you are an autocrat, about which long term do you care? The long term of the country and of the world, or your own personal long term? So what we need is, I think, a combination of long-term projection, global projection, and yet at least a basis of democracy into the process.
So I'm going to ask you the hardest question yet. I would like, how? I agree with you intellectually. I think all our viewers would agree with you intellectually that we need longer-term thinking on every one of these issues. I just don't know how we do that and remain liberal democracies.
Education, huge pedagogical effort on the part of the media, of educational institutions, etc., so that at least we should make it less obvious that the electorate buys with closed eyes short-term solution promised by often irresponsible politicians. Then reflecting on each particular situation, for example, in a country like Italy, which is sometimes unhappy about its not long-term view, but long processes to make decisions, many people would say, well, let's have a presidential republic like in France or in the US. I warn very much against this, because at this point in time in history, both countries are behaving rather poorly, and President Macron took 6 years, 5 in the first mandate and now 1 year in the second, and he has not yet concluded, to introduce a pretty modest pension reform that, under different conditions of extreme financial urgency, a not perfect parliamentary republic like Italy 10 years ago introduced in 2 weeks.